Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good morning, my students in class 3A and B. At first, we have to remember our previous lesson. We were talking about physical properties of matter, and we said anything that take up space, it's called matter. And we talked about many examples of these matters. Anything around us takes up space, called matter, and we can describe it by naming some physical properties. And the meaning of physical properties, it means that the characteristic that we can observe or measure directly, observed by our five senses or measuring directly. Like what? What are some examples of physical properties? Like size, color, shape, texture, hardness, sound. But at first I will ask you this question: do you think there is matter you cannot see it? Yes, something or some matters, it's very small to see it, or something may have no color or shape. Like what? Like the air around us. So there is some matters we cannot see it. So do you remember the three states of matter? Solids, liquids, and gases. All of these, the three states of matter, are examples of matters, and all of these matters have physical properties. So today we will start or continue our lesson 1. What are some physical properties? Today is 18th of March on Wednesday. Our objective is to measure and compare the mass of solids and liquids. So today we will continue with the other physical property. But at first, have you ever tried to carry a pile of books? Look at this picture. There is a pile of books, and there is here one book. Which one is easier to carry? A pile of books like this picture, or one book at a time? Of course, to carry one book, it's easier than to carry this pile of book. Okay, look at the second pictures here. Why is it difficult to lift a bucket full of water, but it's easier to carry the water in a smaller container? Why? Because here this bucket full with water, there is too much amount of water than this bottle. This bottle has little amount of water. So we are talking now about the amount of water here, and the water is a matter. So the amount of matter here has or more than the amount of water in this bottle. So we are talking about now the physical property, which is called mass. The amount of matter in an object is the amount of matter an object has, which is called mass. So the mass is physical property of the matter. Look at this picture here. Here we have empty bucket, and this bucket is full with sand. Which one is easier to carry it? The bucket which is full with sand, or the empty one? The easier one is the empty one. Why? Because this bucket is full with sand. It has too much amount of sand, but here little amount or no amount of sand. So the mass here is more than the mass of the empty one. Look at this picture here. Which has more mass, and why? The large book one or the small book? The large book, of course, has more mass because it has more matter. Here the book made up from papers. So the amount of papers in the large book are more than the amount of papers in the small book. So the large book has more mass. So how can we measure the mass of sand, water, or anything or other materials? We can use it, or we can measure it by using pan balance. We have many shapes of the pan balance, like these pictures. We can use it. This pan balance has two spaces here, and we have many masses. We can put the thing that we want to measure it, or to measure the mass of this object, in one space here, and the other one we can put the masses to measure how amount the mass of this object. Okay, The band balance measures the mass in gram or kilogram. Now please open your book, page 355. In this page, they ask us, the band balance measures mass in grams. How can you measure the mass of the contents of bucket? Now inside this bucket we have water. Can we put the water without bucket on the band balance? No, because the water will flow out. So if we want to measure the mass of the liquid, we have to put it inside the bucket. So to find the mass, we have to use this band balance and using math. How? At first, we have to find the mass of this bucket before putting water or before putting the liquid. The amount of mass of the container alone, it's 10 gram. But after we putting the liquid here, the mass of the container plus the mass of the contents together equal 85 gram. So how much the mass of the container of the contents? We have to subscribe mass of the container plus the contents minus mass of the container. 85 minus 10 gram equal 75 grams. Okay, another example here, which has more mass, an empty cup here or a cup with pencils in this one. Which one has more mass? I will give you 1 minute to think which one has more mass, the empty cup or the cup with pencils inside it. The answer is the cup with pencils in it. Why? Because each pencil here has mass. Together with the mass of the cup, when we sum it, the mass of this object of this picture has more mass than the mass with the empty cup. Now, to sum up our lesson, we have to memorize that the mass, it means, is the amount of matter that an object has. How can we measure the mass of sand, water, or other materials? By using band balance. The band balance measures the mass in gram or kilogram. And again, your homework, page 355, you have to use the math to measure the mass of the contents of liquids. Good luck.